the king.
So, you think you guys got a lot in common?
Some aspects, yeah, we do.
How are you guys different?
Both.
Terence Crawford isn't leaving anything to chance in his preparation for Canelo Alvarez. Instead of relying solely on his usual training routine, he has brought in the expertise of the first man to ever defeat Canelo in the ring. Aware of the significant weight difference, Crawford has decided to start his training camp much earlier than usual, giving himself ample time to add muscle and adjust to the new weight class before the anticipated showdown in September. However, he does plan to take a brief break midway through camp. Before diving into this rigorous preparation, Crawford welcomed Floyd Mayweather to his camp, and the two shared valuable time together. As expected, much of Mayweather's focus was on sharpening Crawford's defensive skills. They worked extensively on the shoulder roll, footwork, and body movement, key elements that made Mayweather untouchable when he fought Canelo Alvarez. Back in 2013, when Mayweather faced Canelo, the Mexican star was just 23 years old, while Floyd was in his mid-30s. Yet, Mayweather's impeccable defense ensured that Canelo barely landed a clean punch over 12 rounds. Over the years, Mayweather has mentored numerous top-tier fighters, including Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Gervonta Davis, all of whom have benefited from his deep boxing knowledge. Now his latest pupil is Terence Crawford. Naturally, fans are curious as to why a seasoned fighter with 40 professional bouts would seek Mayweather's guidance so late in his career, just a few fights away from retirement. The reason is simple. Crawford's upcoming bout marks his debut at 168 pounds, and he knows he must make every adjustment possible to handle the power and size of Canelo Alvarez.
Gave us for the boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle. They should feel that way. So if he feel that way, more power to him. I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually...
He sought guidance from Floyd Mayweather, a 5-division world champion, to refine his skills. In a recent interview, Mayweather reflected on his iconic bout against Canelo Alvarez in that weight class.
It was at a catch weight, but it wasn't my idea. So at one particular time, you guys can, anybody, you can go online and pull this up. It was an article. So with Canelo said, I believe Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him.
Mayweather recalled how the catch weight for this fight against Canelo wasn't his idea, but rather something Canelo himself suggested. He explained, "At one point, I believe Canelo thought I was scared of him. He said, Floyd doesn't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 or 152 and a half. So I called his bluff and agreed." Mayweather went on to clarify that there were no rehydration clauses restricting Canelo's weight after the weigh-in. After making weight at 152 or 152 and a half, Canelo rehydrated and came in at around 168 or close to 170, while I stayed at 151 or 152.
Hit and I get hit, and to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters,
Terence Crawford saw this as the perfect opportunity to learn, especially as he prepares to move up to a new weight class in less than a month. Despite frequent comparisons between him and Floyd Mayweather Jr., Crawford has always been clear about giving Mayweather his due respect. When asked about their similarities, Crawford had nothing but praise for the undefeated legend. "He's the king," Crawford said, acknowledging Mayweather's greatness and influence in the sport.
both boxing. I think, I take more chances,
Excuse me, Crawford.
right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So,
Crawford continued, "Have a lot in common in some ways, but we're also a bit different because I take more risks." Early in his career, Floyd was also taking big chances. He went on to explain, "It just depends on which version of Floyd you're referring to. You're talking about Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy because Pretty Boy was the aggressive, seeking destroyer type, but then injuries started to affect his hands, and as he moved up in weight, he couldn't maintain the same power.
Depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. Do you talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy.
As Crawford mentioned, they share quite a few similarities. However, boxing fans and analysts have often compared the two fighters to determine who is the better one. In one analysis, Crawford was even considered the likely winner in a hypothetical matchup. When it comes to pure boxing skill, though, it's difficult to find anyone who has produced more textbook demonstrations of the sweet science than Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather's crisp jab, impeccable timing, and elite counterpunching skills allowed him to systematically dismantle opponents throughout his career. He evolved through two distinct phases, just as Crawford pointed out. Pretty Boy Floyd was an aggressive, offensive-minded fighter who broke down opponents with relentless pressure, while Money Mayweather became a defensive mastermind, relying on precision, calculation, and strategic brilliance to dominate his rivals. Regardless of which version fans prefer, both styles contributed to the legend of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Similarly, boxing fans are still in awe of what Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence Jr. His power jab consistently broke through Spence's guard. His ability to punch in tight exchanges was remarkable, and his perfectly timed counters left Spence struggling to adjust. While Crawford had shown flashes of his brilliance before, his domination of Spence was on a level never seen before against an elite opponent of that caliber. When discussing pure boxing skill, few can challenge Mayweather's mastery, but Crawford brings a unique, explosive approach to the ring. His sharp, laser-like punches, mixed with his ability to switch stances and control angles, make him unpredictable and dangerous. But if Crawford were to face Mayweather in his prime, how would their styles clash? Would Crawford's pinpoint accuracy and power overwhelm Mayweather's refined defensive genius? Who would establish the jab first? Who would prove to be the superior counterpuncher? The possibilities make this hypothetical matchup one of the most intriguing fantasy fights in boxing history. Mayweather's ability to lure opponents into his rhythm, analyze their movements, and systematically dismantle them was second to none. His mastery of the hit and not get hit philosophy carried him to an undefeated record and a Hall of Fame career across 5 weight divisions. On the other hand, Crawford, having conquered the junior welterweight and welterweight divisions as an undisputed champion, has also demonstrated an exceptional ring IQ and adaptability. When it comes to hand speed, Mayweather was known for his rapid counters and reflexes, but Crawford's dynamic angles and whipping punches give him an edge in speed. While Mayweather boasts 50 career wins with 27 knockouts, Crawford's record stands at 40 wins, with an impressive 31 knockouts. Statistically, Crawford appears to have the heavier hands, but Mayweather's defensive brilliance often negated his opponent's power, making it nearly impossible to land clean shots. In the end, this matchup would be a battle of two boxing savants, one a defensive genius who mastered the art of control, and the other an offensive technician with explosive versatility. The debate over who would win remains open-ended, but one thing is certain: it would be a masterclass in the sweet science.